In the vast and silent Ginnungagap, an endless abyss where time did not exist and space stretched into a deep darkness, two titanic forces awaited. On one side, Muspelheim, the realm of fire, radiated heat, its flames dancing in a dazzling spectacle. On the other, Niflheim, shrouded in eternal ice, emanated a biting cold that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. This was a space of expectation, where the meeting of scorching heat and glacial cold promised an extraordinary birth. The tension in the air was palpable, and as the heat of Muspelheim drew near, the surface of the ice began to crack. The roar of the flames echoed like a call, while the ice crystals melted, forming pools that reflected the light of the fire. It was in this setting that Ymir, the primordial giant, emerged, a colossal and imposing being, shaped by the collision of opposing elements. His eyes, like deep lakes, gazed into the void with an ancient curiosity. Soon beside him appeared Audhumla, the primordial cow. With a wise and serene gaze, she moved slowly, her hooves sinking into the melting ice. "What is this place?" Ymir asked, his deep voice echoing in the emptiness. "A realm without form, waiting to be shaped," Audhumla replied softly as she began to lick the ice, searching for the nourishment necessary to sustain her existence. As Audhumla fed, a thick and nourishing milk flowed from her teats, and Ymir approached, drawn by the aroma of vitality. He did not hesitate to indulge in the milk, feeling a force pulsate within him, a connection to the essence of life forming around him. "I sense that something grand is about to come," Ymir murmured, gazing toward the uncertain horizon. Meanwhile, Audhumla's licking began to reveal a new destiny. From a block of ice, a being emerged, Buri, the ancestor of the gods. His eyes shone like newly born stars, and upon seeing Ymir and Audhumla, a wave of wisdom enveloped him. "What are we if not the root of what is to come?" Buri inquired, as the three beings regarded each other, each aware of the role they would play in the web of creation. The primordial void began to stir, heralding the formation of a world waiting to be shaped. Buri, the ancestor of the gods, looked toward the horizon with a mix of pride and expectation. Beside him, Bestla, the giantess with strong and firm features, reflected the serenity of the distant mountains. They had given birth to a son who carried within him the potential to shape the world's destiny. "Odin," Bestla murmured, admiring the little god who babbled and crawled. "He will be great, don't you think, my love?" "Yes, and he is not alone," Buri replied with a tone of wisdom. "Odin is not by himself. Vili and Vi also have a role to play. Together, they will bring about the changes that existence itself longs for." The brothers grew in strength and intelligence, their restless minds yearning for something beyond the void that surrounded them. "Loneliness is a prison," Odin asserted, with a determined look. "We must act. What is a world without life, without light?" Vili, always at his older brother's side, added, "And the source of all this is Ymir. He is the giant representing the chaos we must confront. If we want to create something new, we must first bring him down." "I agree," said he, his voice firm. "Let us unite and forge our destiny. The battle will be difficult, but the creation of a new world depends on us." Thus, the three brothers prepared, their determination pulsing like a growing fire in their hearts. They gathered in a circle, their hands joined, and a feeling of power enveloped them. "When the time comes, we will fight together," declared Odin, his eyes shining with intense light. "And may our actions echo through the ages." Night fell over Ginnungagap, and darkness became the stage for what was to come. With hearts racing, they made their way to where Ymir lay, oblivious to the storm approaching. The giant, immense and unperturbed, symbolized both life and death. The battle that would unfold would be both a physical struggle and a clash of ideals, where the young gods sought the freedom of creation against the shadow of destruction. "Are we ready?" Vili asked, the tension in the air palpable. "Ready to make history," Vi replied, with a determined smile. And so, under the starry sky, the three brothers advanced toward their destiny, prepared to confront the primordial giant and shape the future of the world. The echo of their footsteps resonated through the vastness, like a harbinger of the great battle about to unfold. Before the colossal body of Ymir, the gods began to work fervently. Odin, with a firm gesture, pointed at the fallen giant, and his words echoed like thunder. "Let the sacrifice of Ymir not be in vain. May your flesh become the earth where life will flourish." With this declaration, clouds of vapor rose as the giant's blood gushed forth, forming vast oceans that spread across the world. "And may your flesh, rich in nutrients, give rise to mountains and plains," Vili exclaimed, his hands shaping the land with precision. The ground beneath their feet began to rise, and majestic mountains emerged, imposing and eternal. With every movement, the earth took form, and amidst this creation, Vi watched with gleaming eyes. "And the creatures that inhabit this land, may they be diverse and full of life." As the gods worked, Ymir's brain, in its last gasp, dissolved into white clouds that floated serenely across the sky. "Look, the clouds!" Vi exclaimed, pointing to the heavens. "They will bring us the rains that will nourish the earth." The air filled with anticipation, and the world began to breathe under the new creation. But the transformation did not stop there. The gods, in a surge of creativity, decided that Ymir's flesh would serve not only for the land and mountains. The larvae that feed on his flesh, let them become beings that will inhabit the depths of the earth, Odin proclaimed. And thus, the larvae began to twist and mold, giving rise to the dwarves, skilled in forging wonders from the metals they found. Vili, with a satisfied smile, added, "And let the elves, beings of light and beauty, also arise to inhabit the forests and valleys." And so, with a touch of magic, the elves emerged from the shadows, ready to dance under the moonlight and protect the woodlands. As the creatures formed, the gods looked upon their work with admiration. "This world is just the beginning," Odin said, his voice firm. "We still have much to do." The divine energies pulsed, and creation continued to be sculpted, each detail more magnificent than the last, as the echo of Ymir's past became the essence of the future. The sun began to rise on the horizon, bathing the newly created world in a golden light. Odin, Vili, and Vi, the three gods who molded the earth from Ymir's body, watched their creation with satisfaction. Rivers wound through the plains, and the first green sprouts reached skyward, as if to touch the clouds floating above. "It's a splendid world," Vili said, a smile on his face. "But something is still missing, don't you think?" He looked at his brothers, the restlessness evident in his gaze. "I agree," Odin responded, his deep, authoritative voice resonating amid the beauty of creation. "We need to give life to beings who can inhabit this world, who can love and learn, who can marvel at life. Then let's create the first humans," Vi declared, excited. "Let them be our children, our representatives in this new realm." The gods moved to a clearing where two robust trees stood, their roots intertwined as if engaged in an eternal dance. With a magical gesture, Odin made the trunks rise from the ground, bringing them to their presence. "These will be our first humans," he announced. Odin closed his eyes and, with a divine breath, infused life into the trunks. Vili then touched their foreheads, granting them intelligence. "May they reason and learn from the world around them," he said, while Vi, with a graceful gesture, instilled the senses in Asgard and Embla. "May they feel the warmth of the sun, the gentle breeze, and the taste of fresh water." The trees began to transform. From the trunks emerged two human figures, Asgard and Embla, with bright, curious eyes, looking around, fascinated by their new reality. "Where are we?" Embla asked, her voice soft as a bird's song. "You are in the world we have created," Odin replied proudly. "You are the first of your kind, destined to inhabit this earth." Asgard looked at his divine brothers and said, "We feel a connection to you. as if we are part of something greater. "You are part of us," Vi affirmed, smiling. "May your lives be filled with adventures and discoveries. This world is vast and full of possibilities." As the gods watched, Asgard and Embla began to explore their new home. With each step, the forest seemed to come alive, and the sounds of nature filled the air. The gods smiled, knowing they had taken a crucial step in creating a world that would resonate for ages. Asgard and Embla, with their innocence and curiosity, were the promise of a bright future, even as shadows of ambition and betrayal began to form on the horizon. The gods were immersed in the construction of Asgard, the sacred abode that would rise above all realms. Odin, with his sharp gaze and imposing presence, was drafting plans for the grand fortress. The sunlight reflected off the stones that were being shaped by the power of their divine hands. "Every stone must be perfect, just like our purpose," he declared, his voice echoing among the other gods working around him. Vili, ever the dreamer, gazed at the horizon where the colors of Muspelheim's fire intertwined with Nibelheim's cold. "We should also create a bridge that unites the realms, something that symbolizes the connection between us and mortals," he suggested, his eyes shining with the idea. Vi nodded, admiring the spirit of unity that permeated his brother's words. "The Bifrost Bridge will be the light that guides all beings between the worlds," he confirmed. As the gods dedicated themselves to the construction, a shadow began to form in the depths of the void. Loki, the god of mischief, watched from a distance, a mischievous smile spreading across his face. "Ah, how secure they feel in their fortress," he murmured to himself. "But security is an illusion, and I shall be the agent of chaos that shatters this peace." With his characteristic cunning, Loki began to plot against them. He approached Odin during a moment of distraction, feigning friendship. "Oh, Odin, your work is magnificent, but I sense that something is missing. Would it not be wise to test the gods' power in a friendly competition? A challenge that would further unite the realms," Loki suggested, his eyes gleaming with treacherous fervor. Odin, intrigued, considered the proposal. "A challenge, you say? It could be an opportunity to showcase the strength of Asgard." "Let it be so," he replied, unaware of the trap Loki was setting. In the days that followed, while the construction of Asgard progressed, Loki sowed the seeds of chaos. With a subtle spell, he provoked disasters that began to spread, not only through Asgard but also to neighboring realms. Storms formed suddenly, and malevolent creatures emerged from the shadows. The gods, initially confident, began to sense the tension in the air. "What is happening? The peace we built is under threat," exclaimed Vili, distressed. Loki, watching the confusion he had caused, could not contain a laugh. "Do you think you can build an eternal realm? Discord runs in my blood, and I will not rest until the harmony you cherish is transformed into chaos," he declared, revealing the true extent of his betrayal. The atmosphere in Asgard was tense. Asgard and Embla, now grown and imbued with a sense of duty, gathered with Odin and his brothers before the Golden Throne. The presence of Loki, the god of mischief, loomed like a shadow over the realm. "We must act before he causes further destruction," said Odin, his deep voice resonating in the hall. "The union of all realms is vital." Asgard looked at Embla, eyes filled with determination. "We are ready, father. If Loki wants war, then let it be so." The young woman nodded, her hand firmly holding his. "But how can we confront a being so cunning? He has tricks that even the gods do not know." Vili intervened, his gaze serious. "It's true, but we possess a hidden power that we have yet to explore. The bond between you and the gods is stronger than we realize." Vili's words echoed in Asgard and Embla's minds, prompting them to reflect on their divine heritage. The battle began at dawn when storm-laden clouds gathered over the battlefield. The sound of thunder and lightning heralded the arrival of chaos. Odin's forces, along with Asgard and Embla, took their positions, ready to face Loki and his followers. "For Asgard!" shouted Odin, and the troops advanced. Asgard, feeling a growing power within himself, began to realize that his connection to Odin was not merely symbolic. "Embla, there's something inside me," he said, as a pulsating energy illuminated his body. "I feel that I am more than just a mortal." Embla smiled, recognizing her brother's evolution. "Use it, Asgard. Together we are stronger." Loki appeared, his disdainful smile reflecting the confidence he always had. "Do you think you can defeat me? You are merely mortals." But Asgard, now filled with ancestral power, raised his hand. "I am the son of Odin," he shouted, and a wave of light erupted from his being, enveloping Loki. The magical connection that had finally revealed itself was enough to destabilize the god of mischief. When Loki was finally defeated and imprisoned, a silence of relief permeated the battlefield. Asgard and Embla exchanged glances, their heavy breaths filled with newfound hope. "The cycle of creation and destruction is complete," Odin said, a slight smile on his face. "You, my children, have become the new protectors of the world." Asgard, shimmering under the light of dawn, appeared more vibrant than ever. Harmony had returned to the realms, and the lesson about the strength of unity and the importance of the roots that connect us to the past echoed through eternity. Dionysus shouted, his voice echoing in the dark caves. "The light of love will always prevail." When the dust of the battle finally settled, victory belonged to the gods. Hades, defeated and weakened, was imprisoned in his own realm, while the truth about Semele's death spread like a ray of light throughout Olympus. Dionysus, now recognized as a worthy deity, not only celebrated his ascension, but also the memory of his mother, whose essence would continue to live on through him. "May the celebration of life and love be eternally remembered," said Dionysus, raising his cup in tribute to Semele. And so, the god of wine and ecstasy established himself as a symbol of overcoming, bringing joy and festivity to the world, while the pain and betrayal of his past became distant memories, finally set free.